Part 2: Battle Tactics. There's a fine line between being bold and being foolish. History defines the distinction by the victor. Chapter 4: Budgeting and Managing Cash Flow with the Valiant Virtue Method. One of the most powerful tools you could use to take control of your finances is a zero-based budget. In this chapter, we'll explore the principles of budgeting, specifically focusing on the benefits of a zero-based budget, along with tools and strategies that will help you manage your cash flow more effectively. We'll also introduce the Valiant Virtue Method, a uniquely Catholic approach to managing your money in alignment with your faith, guiding you to make virtuous financial decisions with every purchase. The zero-based budget. What is it and why does it work? A zero-based budget, or ZBB, is a budgeting method where every dollar of your income is assigned a specific purpose. Rather than letting money accumulate in vague categories, you give every dollar a job, from your rent and groceries to savings and discretionary spending. The goal is to ensure that your income minus your expenses equals zero at the end of the month. The benefits of a zero-based budget. Number 1, clear financial picture. A zero-based budget helps you gain a clear understanding of where your money is going each month. By allocating every dollar, you could avoid wasteful spending and ensure that you're directing your resources towards what truly matters. Number 2, increased control. With ZBB, you actively plan for every expense, making you more intentional about your spending. This puts you in the driver's seat of your financial journey instead of letting your money slip away unnoticed. Number 3, aligns with your values. The ZBB system allows you to prioritize spending based on what's truly important to you, whether that's paying down debt, saving for a future goal, or contributing to a cause that aligns with your values. It's not about cutting costs, it's about making sure your financial decisions reflect your priorities. Number 4, improved cash flow management. By assigning every dollar to a specific category, you could identify any cash flow issues early and adjust accordingly. This method allows you to adapt more quickly if your income fluctuates or unexpected expenses arise. The best tool for the job. Tracking your spending is crucial to the success of any budget. Fortunately, there are many tools and apps designed to make this process simple and efficient. As a Ramsey Preferred Financial Coach, I highly recommend using EveryDollar, a budgeting app created by Ramsey Solutions, which is specifically built for the zero-based budgeting method. EveryDollar provides an intuitive platform to help you track your income, set spending categories, and stick to your budget. It also integrates with your bank accounts through the premium version, so you can see your transactions in real time, making it easy to stay on top of your spending throughout the month. You could even set up automatic transactions like paying bills or saving for long-term goals and track your progress towards these goals with ease. Why EveryDollar? It's simple, user-friendly, and designed for the zero-based budget method. The app provides both a free version and a paid version, EveryDollar Premium, with additional features like bank syncing. As a Ramsey Preferred Coach, I could offer you discounted rates for Ramsey Plus, which includes EveryDollar Premium and other great tools like financial courses and more. If you'd like to take advantage of this discount, feel free to reach out. Tips for cutting unnecessary expenses. One of the most important aspects of managing your cash flow is learning to identify and cut superfluous expenses. Here are some practical tips that could help you save more while living within your means. Number 1, track every expense. The first step to cutting expenses is awareness. By tracking every penny you spend, you'll quickly identify areas where you need to cut back. Apps like EveryDollar make this process simple and automatic. Number 2, evaluate subscriptions. Review any monthly subscriptions you have, streaming services, magazine subscriptions, or software tools. Are you really using them, or are they just sitting there collecting digital dust? Cancel anything that no longer serves you. Number 3, cook at home. Dining out may feel convenient, but the costs quickly add up. Cooking at home is not only more budget friendly, but also provides opportunities to eat healthier and be more mindful about your meals. Number 4, buy used, not new. If you need to make a big purchase, consider buying used items. From cars to furniture, secondhand goods often provide significant savings without compromising quality. Number 5, negotiate bills. Don't be afraid to call your service providers, cable, internet, insurance, and ask for discounts. Sometimes simply asking can reduce your bills, and many companies offer promotions for new or existing customers. Number 6, avoid impulse purchases. Impulse spending is a major budget buster. One simple strategy is to implement a 24-hour rule. Before making any non-essential purchase, wait 24 hours to decide if it's truly necessary. The Valiant Virtue Method, a moral framework for spending. As a Catholic financial coach, I'm committed to helping you not only manage your money wisely, but also do so in a way that aligns with your faith and values. This is where the Valiant Virtue Method comes in, a system I've developed that takes budgeting beyond the numbers and into the realm of moral decision making. The Valiant Virtue Method encourages you to evaluate each purchase through the lens of virtue. Before spending money, ask yourself, is this purchase aligned with the virtues I want to cultivate in my life? Does this spending reflect my priorities and my relationship with God? Is this purchase supporting my goals of financial freedom, generosity, and prudence? Each budget line item is evaluated for its moral impact. This helps to ensure that your money is going towards things that will elevate your character rather than contributing to habits or vices that may pull you away from your Catholic faith. For example, when budgeting for entertainment, ask yourself whether a particular spending choice leads you toward greater joy, community, and well-being, or if it fosters unhealthy distractions, materialism, or idleness. By evaluating each purchase through this virtuous lens, you not only manage your finances, but also grow in those virtues. The Valiant Virtue Method helps transform budgeting into a spiritual exercise that challenges you to live a more intentional and virtuous life, making your financial decisions a way of honoring God in all things, using faith to regain your finances. Managing your budget is about more than just making numbers add up. It's about aligning your financial decisions with your values and your long-term goals. A zero-based budget is an incredibly powerful tool to help you do just that, and by incorporating tools like EveryDollar, you can track your spending efficiently and stay on top of your financial goals. Cutting unnecessary expenses, saving more, and practicing mindful spending will bring you closer to financial freedom, while the Valiant Virtue Method helps guide each purchase towards virtue and moral clarity. Remember, budgeting is not just a practical skill, it's a spiritual discipline. By making intentional, faith-filled choices, you could create a life that reflects both financial wisdom and Catholic virtue. If you'd like personalized coaching or access to discounted tools like Ramsey Plus for additional resources, don't hesitate to reach out. Together, we could work towards a future that honors both your financial goals and your faith. Chapter 5. Slaying Your Dragon, a Path to Financial Freedom. It's a word that often causes anxiety, frustration, and shame. Whether it's student loans, credit card debt, or mortgages, debt can feel like a weight around your neck, preventing you from moving forward in life with peace and security. As a Catholic financial coach, my goal is to not only help you reduce and eliminate debt, but to do so in a way that aligns with the teachings of the Church. In this chapter, we will explore how to effectively manage and reduce your debt using proven strategies such as the debt snowball method. We'll also discuss how to prioritize your debt payments, avoid falling back into debt, and approach your financial journey with the wisdom and principles of our Catholic faith in mind. Understanding the different types of debt. Before we could begin tackling debt, it's important to understand the different types of debt that people commonly find themselves in. Not all debt is created equal, and some types of debt are more dangerous than others. Here are the most common categories. Number 1, secured debt. This is debt that is backed by collateral, such as a mortgage or car loan. If you fail to pay this debt, the lender has the right to take the property as payment. While secured debts tend to have lower interest rates, they could still be a financial burden if not managed properly. Number 2, unsecured debt. This includes credit card debt, medical bills, personal loans, and student loans. Unlike secured debt, unsecured debt is not backed by any collateral, but it often comes with higher interest rates. Credit card debt is especially dangerous due to its high interest, which can quickly spiral out of control. Number 3, consumer debt. This type of debt arises from purchasing goods or services on credit, such as buying electronics or furniture. While some consumer debt may be necessary at certain points, it's important to keep it to a minimum and pay it off as quickly as possible to avoid compounding interest. Number 4, student loan debt. Student loans are a significant burden for many people, especially graduates just starting their careers. While education is an important investment, student loans can become overwhelming if not handled responsibly. Number 5, medical debt. Medical bills can pile up unexpectedly, leaving families in a financial crisis. It's crucial to address medical debt promptly and negotiate with the service providers whenever possible. 6, other debt. This includes payday loans, personal loans from friends or family, any other forms of borrowing. While these loans might seem like quick solutions, they could create long-term financial stress. The debt snowball method, a proven strategy. When it comes to slaying your debt, it's easy to feel overpowered. The amount that you owe may seem insurmountable, and the path to becoming debt-free bewildering. That's where the debt snowball method comes in, a simple yet powerful strategy for debt reduction. The debt snowball method involves paying off your smallest debt first, regardless of the interest rate. Once that debt is paid off, you move on to the next smallest debt, and so on until all of your debts are paid off. Here's why this method is so effective. Number 1, psychological momentum. Paying off smaller debts first gives you quick wins, which boosts your motivation and confidence. As you eliminate one debt after another, you gain momentum and the process becomes less daunting. Number 2, focus and clarity. The debt snowball method encourages you to focus on one debt at a time instead of juggling multiple debts with different interest rates. You could direct your efforts towards clearing a single balance, making the process more manageable. Number 3, behavioral change. One of the key benefits of the debt snowball is that it reinforces positive financial habits. By focusing on one debt at a time and sticking to your plan, you begin to develop the discipline and resolve needed to avoid debt in the future. Let's walk you through the steps of the debt snowball method. Number 1, list your debts. Write down all your debts from the smallest to the largest, regardless of the interest rates. This includes credit cards, loans, and any other outstanding balances. This does not include your mortgage unless it's a mortgage on a second home or a rental property. Number 2, make minimum payments. For every debt except the smallest, make the minimum payment required. For the smallest debt, put as much money towards paying it off as possible. Number 3, pay off the smallest debt. Once you slay the smallest debt, take the money you were using for that payment and apply it to the next smallest debt. This is the snowball effect. As you eliminate each debt, you free up more money to attack the next one. Number 4, repeat until debt-free. Continue this process until all your debts are exterminated. As you go, you'll notice that your payments get larger and faster, just like a snowball gaining momentum as it rolls down a hill. Avoiding more debt, the necessity of financial discipline. One of the greatest challenges in managing debt is avoiding the temptation to accumulate more. Once you start to reduce your debt, it can be easy to slip back into old habits and begin borrowing again. Here are some tips to avoid falling into more debt. Number 1, live below your means. The root cause for many people's debt problems is living beyond their means. By adopting a mindset of living below your means, cutting back on unnecessary purchases, and prioritizing needs over wants, you could break the cycle of debt. Number 2, create and stick to a budget. Budgeting is one of the best ways to ensure you don't fall back into debt. With the zero-based budget, you plan for every dollar, including savings and debt repayment. This discipline helps you avoid impulse purchases that could lead to debt accumulation. Number 3, avoid credit cards. Credit cards are often the gateway to consumer debt. If you can't pay off your credit card balances in full every month, it's better to avoid using them altogether. If you must use them, treat them as a short-term loan and pay them off immediately. Number 4, build an emergency fund. One of the main reasons people go into debt is because they don't have the savings for emergencies. Building an emergency fund will provide you with the security to handle unexpected expenses without turning to credit cards or loans. Debt and the call to stewardship. The teachings of the Catholic Church offer deep wisdom on the topic of debt. While the Church recognizes that not all debt is intrinsically evil, it emphasizes the importance of financial responsibility, justice, and stewardship. Here are some key principles to consider. Number 1, debt should be a temporary solution. The Church teaches that debt should be used as a temporary means to fulfill a legitimate need, not as a lifestyle or long-term solution. It should be paid off as quickly as possible to avoid being burdened by it for years. Number 2, the virtue of prudence. Prudence is the ability to judge and choose rightly in all circumstances. In managing debt, prudence calls for careful decision-making, avoiding unnecessary borrowing, and prioritizing financial freedom and responsibility. Number 3, avoiding the oppression of debt. The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches that debt can become an instrument of oppression, especially when it leads to the exploitation of others. We are called to avoid creating burdens for ourselves or others, recognizing that excessive debt can lead to serious spiritual and material consequences. Number 4, the call to generosity. Finally, one of the most powerful ways to break free from the grip of debt is to cultivate the virtue of generosity. The Church encourages us to give to those in need, and financial freedom enables us to be more generous with our time, talents, and resources. Debt reduction frees us to live more fully in alignment with the call to serve others. A debt-free life with faith and virtue. Managing and reducing debt is a process that requires discipline, patience, and perseverance. By utilizing effective strategies like the debt snowball method, prioritizing debt payments, and avoiding more debt, you can achieve financial freedom and peace of mind. Most importantly, approaching this journey with a commitment to virtue and Catholic teaching will not only help you manage your finances more effectively, but also allow you to grow spiritually and live in greater harmony with God's plan for your life. Chapter 6: Building an Emergency Fund, a Cornerstone for Financial Security. In our journey toward financial health and freedom, one of the most important steps you could take is to build an emergency fund. An emergency fund is not a luxury or an afterthought. It's a critical financial safety net that protects you and your family from the unexpected. In this chapter, we'll explore the importance of having an emergency fund, how much to save, and the right time to begin setting aside money for it. We'll also ground this in the teachings of the Catholic Church, reflecting on how sound financial stewardship can be a means of living out your faith. Why an emergency fund is essential. Life is unpredictable. Even with the best plans in place, things can go awry. A medical emergency, a car breaking down, job loss, or an unexpected home repair. Without an emergency fund, these events can hurl you into the jaws of debt, causing unnecessary stress and financial hardship. An emergency fund provides you with the peace of mind that, when unexpected expenses arise, you'll have the resources to cover them without resorting to credit cards or loans. The benefits of an emergency fund. Number 1, peace of mind. Knowing that you have money set aside for emergencies can relieve a great deal of financial anxiety. It allows you to face life's great trials and tribulations with confidence, knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way. Number 2, prevents debt. When you don't have an emergency fund, you may turn to credit cards or loans to cover unexpected expenses. This creates a vicious cycle of debt that's difficult to break. An emergency fund ensures that you can avoid this snare. Number 3, provides flexibility. Life happens quickly, and sometimes you may need to make decisions that aren't ideal for your financial situation. Whether it's leaving a job that's unhealthy for you or caring for a sick family member, having an emergency fund gives you the flexibility to make decisions that align with your values without the constant fear of financial ruin. Number 4, strengthens financial resilience. Having money saved up for emergencies strengthens your overall financial constitution. It enables you to weather storms, both financial and personal, without being derailed. How to save in an emergency fund. The next important question is, how much should you save? The general guideline is to set aside at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. This can vary depending on your situation, but here's how to determine a reasonable amount. Number 1, essentials only. Start by calculating the basics, the expenses you absolutely cannot live without, such as your rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation, and insurance. If you have dependents, add in necessary childcare or educational costs as well. Number 2, consider job security. If you have a stable long-term job or multiple streams of income, you may feel comfortable starting with 3 months of living expenses. However, if your job is less stable, you're self-employed, or you work in an industry with frequent layoffs, aim for closer to 6 months of expenses. Number 3, keep it liquid. Your emergency fund should be easily accessible, which means you should keep it in a savings account or a money market account that allows for quick withdrawals without penalty. Avoid tying it up in investments like stocks or bonds, as you may need the money in a hurry. Number 4, don't get too comfortable. If you have a significant amount of outstanding consumer debt, it's best to keep the foot on the pedal and the irons in the fire. A smaller emergency fund will motivate you to slay debt quicker, then increase your cushion at a later date. When to start funding. One of the most important pieces of advice I give is to begin building your emergency fund as soon as you are cash flow positive. That is, when your income exceeds your expenses. Before paying off debt or making large purchases, your first priority should be to establish a financial buffer. This is a crucial step in ensuring that you don't fall deeper into debt in the future. Think of it like running to slay a dragon with your sword, but you haven't donned any armor. Here's why. Number 1, debt reduction isn't enough. If you focus solely on slaying debt but neglecting building an emergency fund, you may still find yourself back in debt when an unexpected expense arises. It's easy to get caught in a cycle of paying off debt only to be forced to borrow it again when the next emergency occurs. Number 2, financial stability. By building your emergency fund before aggressively tackling debt, you create a financial cushion that can protect you from life's disruptions. This gives you the stability you need to focus on slaying debts without fear of setbacks. Number 3, long-term peace. With an emergency fund in place, you'll feel much more secure and focused as you continue paying down debt. You'll know that an emergency won't set you back, which allows you to stay on track with your financial goals. Stewardship and saving. As Catholics, we're called to be wise and prudent stewards of the resources that God has entrusted to us. Building an emergency fund is not only a functional financial step, but it's a way to live out the virtue of prudence, the ability to make sound decisions that protect us and our families from harm. Prudence involves careful planning and preparation, understanding the possible risks, and taking steps to mitigate them. In the context of our faith, building an emergency fund is an act of responsibility and foresight. The Catholic Church teaches that we're called to provide for our families and to ensure their well-being. St. Paul writes, "And whoever does not provide for relatives, and especially family members, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever." 1 Timothy 5:8. Part of providing for your family is preparing for the unforeseen events that can occur in life. Jesus himself gave us a model of wise financial planning in the parable of the two foundations, Luke chapter 6. The wise builder who builds his house on solid rock represents someone who prepares for difficulties ahead, someone who plans for the future. Having an emergency fund is one way to build your financial house on a solid foundation. Additionally, saving for emergencies aligns with the virtue of temperance, which is the ability to moderate our desires and impulses. By resisting the urge to spend impulsively and instead focusing on building an emergency fund, we practice temperance. Building your emergency fund. Now that we understand the value of an emergency fund and how we should save, let's talk about how to get started. Number 1, set a realistic goal. Start small, especially if your cash flow's tight. Even saving a few $100s to start could give you a sense of accomplishment and motivate you to continue. Number 2, make it a priority. If you don't yet have an emergency fund, treat it as your number 1 priority after meeting your basic needs. Consider cutting back on non-essential spending or directing any extra income like tax refunds or bonuses towards your emergency fund. Number 3, automate your savings. One of the easiest ways to ensure you're saving regularly is to automate your savings. Set up a recurring transfer from your checking account to a separate savings account. If you make saving part of your routine, it becomes easier to stick to. Number 4, avoid using your emergency fund for non-emergencies. It's important to remember that an emergency fund is for actual emergencies, not for discretionary spending or planned expenses like a vacation or a new phone. Only use your emergency fund for unanticipated events or guaranteed opportunities such as medical bills, car repairs, or job loss. Number 5, gradually increase your fund. Once you've saved your initial emergency fund, typically $1,000 to $2,000, focus on building it up to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses once your dragon is at bay. Consider contributing a portion of your income each month until you've reached your target. Number 6, replenish it when it's used. If you do need to dip into your emergency fund, make it a priority to rebuild it as soon as possible. This ensures that you're always prepared for the next unexpected expense. Security through stewardship and preparation. Building an emergency fund is one of the most prudent financial decisions you can make. By doing so, you not only protect yourself and your family from financial instability, but also live in alignment with the teachings of the Catholic Church, embracing responsibility and foresight. As you begin this journey, remember that an emergency fund is not a goal in itself, but a tool to help you achieve greater financial stability and peace. With a safety net in place, you'll have the confidence to move forward with paying down debt, saving for the future, and giving generously to others. God calls us to be good stewards of the gifts He gives us, and building an emergency fund is a step towards fulfilling that calling. By practicing discipline, prudence, and responsibility, we honor God with our financial decisions and create a foundation for a life of peace, stability, and generosity. Chapter 7, Saving and Investing. Building wealth with wisdom. When it comes to managing money, 2 fundamental concepts are often discussed: saving and investing. While both are essential for long-term financial security, they serve different purposes and require different approaches. In this chapter, we will look into the differences between saving and investing, how to effectively save and invest, and how to do so in a way that aligns with the Catholic Church's teachings on prudence, stewardship, and long-term responsibility. We will also discuss important concepts like compound interest, diversification, and risk management, and explore how you can make your money work for you while remaining grounded in faith and virtuous living. Saving versus investing. Prior to diving into strategies for improving your income generation, it's important to understand the fundamental differences between saving and investing. Number 1, saving. Saving is the process of setting aside money for short-term or emergency needs, typically in low-risk, easily accessible accounts such as a savings account or money market account. Saving is essential for building an emergency fund, preparing for major purchases, and maintaining financial security. The goal of saving is to preserve your money and ensure it's available when you need it. Number 2, investing. Investing, on the other hand, is the process of putting your money into assets like stocks, bonds, or real estate with the expectation that they'll grow over time.
Investing carries more risk than saving because the value of investments can fluctuate. However, investing allows your money to work for you through capital appreciation, increases in value, and income generation, such as dividends or interest payments. The goal of investing is to build wealth for long-term financial security. Paying off debt before investing. While both saving and investing are important components of financial health, one crucial principle should guide your financial decisions. Pay off consumer debt before heavily investing. Number one, debt versus investment growth. Debts such as credit card debt have interest rates that far exceed the returns you might earn from investments. For example, if your credit card charges 20% interest, paying off that debt will likely provide a greater return on your money than investing in the stock market, where the returns are historically about 7 to 10% per year. On top of that, debt payoff is a surefire way to improve your financial standing, while investment has a degree of risk. Your risk tolerance should be substantially lower when you have outstanding debt. Number two, peace of mind. Being burdened by debt, especially high-interest consumer debt, can prevent you from taking advantage of long-term wealth-building opportunities. Paying off debt gives you greater freedom and peace of mind, allowing you to focus on your savings and your investments without the looming stress of outstanding obligations. Number three, debt is a barrier to stewardship. The Catholic Church teaches us that our resources are gifts from God and that we are called to be good stewards of what we have. Debt can be an obstacle to this stewardship. As St. Paul reminds us, owe nothing to anyone except to love one another. For the one who loves another has fulfilled the law. Romans 13:8. Paying off debt before heavily investing allows you to serve others more freely and generously, unburdened by financial stress. Investing in small amounts, workplace retirement plans, and Roth IRAs. Once your dragon is at bay and you've established an emergency fund, you can begin to shift your focus towards investing. Fortunately, there are accessible ways to start investing with small amounts, even if you don't have large sums of money to work with. Workplace retirement plans, 401k, 403b. Many employers offer retirement plans like a 401k or 403b where you can invest a portion of your income. These plans often offer matching contributions, meaning your employer will contribute additional money to your retirement savings, effectively giving you free money. It's a great way to start investing, especially if your employer offers a match as it maximizes your savings. If your employer offers a match, you should take advantage of it as soon as possible. Contribution limits. For 2024, the annual contribution limit for a 401k is $23,000 for those under 50 and $30,000 for those 50 and older. Catch-up contribution. Tax advantages. Traditional 401k contributions are made pre-tax, meaning they reduce your taxable income for the year. However, you will pay taxes on the withdrawals when you retire. Some employers also offer Roth 401k plans, which allow for after-tax contributions and tax-free withdrawals in retirement. Roth IRA. A Roth IRA individual retirement account is another great investment option. The benefit of a Roth IRA is that you contribute after-tax dollars, but your investments grow tax-free, and you could withdraw them tax-free in retirement. This makes the Roth IRA an attractive long-term investment vehicle, especially if you expect to be in a higher tax bracket during retirement. Since there's no match from your employer with these after-tax dollars, this is a higher risk investment. Wait until you've vanquished your dragon before embarking on this venture. Contribution limits. For 2024, you could contribute up to $6,500 per year to a Roth IRA or $7,500 if you're over 50. Income limits. Roth IRAs have income eligibility limits, so if your income exceeds a certain threshold, you may not be able to contribute directly. However, there are ways to backdoor into a Roth IRA through a conversion strategy. The dangers of speculative risk. While investing can be a powerful way to grow your wealth, it's important to be aware of speculative risk, or the risk that comes from making investments based on short-term speculation rather than sound long-term financial principles. Number one, speculative investing. Speculative risk arises when you invest in assets that carry significant uncertainty and volatility, such as individual stocks, options, or commodities. These types of investments may offer the potential for high returns, but they are also much more likely to result in significant loss. Number two, Catholic principles of prudence and temperance. The Catholic Church teaches us to avoid recklessness and to act prudently in our financial decisions. Prudence is the virtue that helps us discern the right course of action in all situations, while temperance calls us to avoid excess. Speculative investing often reflects a lack of these virtues, as it involves pursuing risky short-term gains that may undermine our long-term financial stability. Number 3, focus on long-term growth. Rather than chasing speculative investments, focus on steady, long-term wealth building. This approach will give you the stability you need to achieve your goals while maintaining a strong ethical foundation. Diversification for retirement. One of the most important principles for investing, especially when saving for retirement, is diversification. Diversification means spreading your investments across different asset classes, stocks, bonds, real estate, etc., so that your portfolio is not overly reliant on any single investment. It's never good to put all your eggs in one basket. Number 1, risk reduction. By diversifying your investments, you reduce the risk that any one investment will cause significant losses. If one asset class lags behind, the others can help buffer your portfolio against these losses. Number 2, Catholic approach to stewardship. Diversification reflects on the Church's teaching on stewardship, which emphasizes the prudent management of resources. Just as we do not place all of our hope in one person or thing, we should not place all of our financial resources in one investment. Diversification spreads the risk and aligns with the virtue of prudence, encouraging responsible decision-making. Number 3, asset allocation. A typical diversified retirement portfolio might include a mix of stocks, bonds, and real estate. Stocks tend to grow over time but come with more volatility. Bonds are more stable but offer lower returns, and real estate could provide a hedge against inflation. Note that real estate investment doesn't mean you need to be a landlord or flip houses on HGTV, but rather building equity in your own home. A balanced mix of these can help you achieve steady growth while minimizing risk. Compound interest and its role in long-term growth. The effectiveness of investing lies in compound interest, the process by which you earn interest on your initial investment as well as on the interest that your investment has already earned. This creates exponential growth over time. Number 1, the power of compounding. For example, if you invest $1,000 and earn 6% annual interest, after 1 year, you'll have $1,060. The next year, you'll earn interest not just on your initial $1,000, but also on the $60 interest from the previous year. Over time, this snowball effect intensifies the growth of your money. Number 2, starting early. The key to making compound interest work for you is starting early. Even small amounts invested consistently over time can grow significantly by the time you retire. This is why it's so important to begin saving and investing as soon as practical. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. Number 3, faith and long-term perspective. The Catholic faith teaches us to trust in God's plan and act with a long-term perspective. Investing for the future is an act of faith, as you trust that your diligent efforts today will bear fruit in the future. Compound interest reflects this idea. Consistent, wise actions today can lead to abundant results tomorrow. Making your money work for you. To make your money work for you, it's essential to set clear, actionable financial goals. Financial goals help steer your saving and investing decisions, ensuring that your money is aligned with your values and long-term aspirations. Number 1, short-term versus long-term goals. Begin by differentiating between your short-term goals, like building an emergency fund or paying off debt, and long-term goals, such as saving for retirement or a child's education. Each goal will require varying strategies. Number 2, SMART goals. Use the SMART framework, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, to set clear, actionable financial goals. For example, save $5,000 for retirement in the next 2 years by contributing $200 per month. We further explore the SMART framework in a later chapter. Number 3, accountability and stewardship. As you set financial goals, remember that you're called to be a responsible steward of your resources. Your money is a gift from God, and your financial planning should reflect gratitude, discipline, and a desire to use your resources wisely for the good of your family, community, and the church. Building wealth with faith and prudence. Saving and investing are essential for building long-term financial security, but they must be approached with wisdom, prudence, and a commitment to ethical stewardship. By prioritizing debt repayment, investing consistently, and managing risk with diversification, you could set yourself on a path to financial security while adhering to the teachings of the Catholic faith. Remember, the ultimate goal of your financial planning is not just wealth accumulation, but also the ability to serve God and others. By making sound financial decisions today, you'll build a foundation for the future that reflects your values and enhances your ability to contribute to the greater good. Chapter 8. Charitable giving, the value of generosity. Charity is not just about meeting material needs, it is also a spiritual practice that draws us closer to God. Through the act of giving, we participate in God's own generosity. The Catholic Church teaches that charity is a cardinal virtue, meaning that it is a central aspect to the Catholic life and morality. Charity, in this sense, is not just about giving money or goods to those in need. It's a deep, abiding love for others, which extends to acts of kindness, service, and self-sacrifice. Charity is a cardinal virtue. Charity is the virtue that enables us to love God above all things and our neighbors as ourselves. It is the foundation of Catholic morality, and the act of giving allows us to embody this virtue in a tangible way. Paul emphasized the importance of charity when he said, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." Acts 20:35. Through charity, we follow in the footsteps of Christ, who gave of himself selflessly, even to the point of his death on the cross. When we give, we are reflecting his love and grace in the world. Moreover, charity connects us to the larger community of the faithful. When we give, we participate in the body of Christ, sharing our resources to support the common good and helping others experience God's love through our generosity. By serving others, we also serve God. Building spiritual riches. The spiritual benefit of giving cannot be understated. Charitable giving cultivates the virtue of humility, as we recognize that all we have comes from God and that our blessings are meant to be shared. This practice helps detach us from materialism and earthly attachments, which can be powerful spiritual obstacles. As Jesus taught in Matthew 6:19 through 21, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and decay destroy, and thieves break in and steal, but store up treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor decay destroys, nor thieves break and steal. For where your treasure is, there also will your heart be." True wealth lies not in accumulating material possessions, but in the generous and sacrificial use of the gifts God has entrusted to us. Additionally, giving fosters gratitude. By sharing our resources, we come to realize how richly we have been blessed. And this leads us to thank God for his abundance. It also cultivates joy. Jesus said, "Give and gifts will be given to you. A good measure, packed together, shaken down and overflowing, will be poured into your lap. For the measure with which you measure will in return be measured out to you." Luke 6:38. Highlighting the act of giving brings joy not only to the recipient but also the giver. There is a deep fulfillment in knowing that we are making a difference in someone's life, fulfilling God's call to love and serve our neighbor. The psychological benefits of charitable giving. While charitable giving is deeply spiritual, it also has fundamental psychological benefits. Studies have shown that giving to charity releases endorphins, the feel-good hormones that promote happiness and reduce stress. The act of giving helps to reduce feelings of isolation, loneliness, and anxiety, and can increase a sense of purpose and fulfillment in life. Number 1, increased happiness. Giving to others often leads to greater personal happiness. When we help others, our brains release oxytocin, a hormone associated with sensations of warmth and connection. Studies show that those who regularly engage in charitable acts tend to be happier overall. Number 2, sense of purpose. Charitable giving can also provide a sense of purpose. It allows us to be part of something larger than ourselves, to contribute to the greater good, and to participate in God's plan for the world. Knowing that we are helping to meet the needs of others brings a deep sense of satisfaction. Number 3, reduction of stress. Generosity has been shown to reduce stress. When we focus on giving, we take the focus off of our own anxieties and worries, and this shift in focus brings peace. In the words of St. Francis of Assisi, it is in giving that we receive. Number 4, improved relationships. Giving to others can strengthen our relationships. Whether it's giving financially, offering our time, or sharing our talents, acts of generosity builds bonds and promotes trust. It can also inspire others to give, creating a culture of generosity and kindness that has a compounding effect on charity in the world. Giving God his first fruits. As Catholics, we are called to give God our first fruits. This concept of first fruits is a biblical principle, one that teaches us to offer the best and first portion of what we receive back to God. In the Old Testament, this was expressed by bringing the first harvest or livestock as an offering to God. See Exodus 23:19, Proverbs 3:9. It was an acknowledgement that all blessings come from God, and by offering the first portion, we give thanks for his provision. First fruits in your financial journey. In practical terms, giving God your first fruits means prioritizing charitable giving, even during times of debt. As you work towards being debt-free, it's important to set aside a portion of your income for charity, regardless of your financial situation. For some, this might mean giving a percentage of your income to the church or to charitable causes. For others, it might mean offering your time or talents with a smaller amount of money. The important thing is that giving is a priority, even if it looks different depending on your circumstances. If you're in debt, start by giving what you can, and as you become debt-free, you can increase your giving. The key is consistency and intentionality. The church does not prescribe a specific amount. The tithe of 10% is often cited as a guideline, but it's not a legalistic requirement. What matters is that you give generously and with a joyful heart, recognizing that your resources are not just for your benefit, but for the good of others and the glory of God. Charitable giving of your time. While financial contributions are important, time is an equally valuable resource that we could give in service to others. Jesus himself gave us the example of self-sacrificial service in his earthly ministry, constantly pouring out his time and energy to heal the sick, comfort the brokenhearted, and serve the marginalized. We are called to follow his example. Time spent volunteering at a local food bank, helping a neighbor, or serving in a parish ministry is just as valuable as financial contributions. In fact, giving your time can often be a more powerful witness to others because it shows a willingness to sacrifice your most limited resource, your time, for the benefit of others. Here are a few examples of charitable service: volunteering at your parish or local Catholic charities, visiting the elderly or homebound, offering companionship and assistance, donating time to teach or mentor others, especially youth or the underprivileged, offering your professional services, for example, professional advice, legal services, or medical care to those who cannot afford them. Living out the virtue of charity. As we continue on our journey toward financial health, let us remember that our wealth is not just for us. As we continue on our journey toward financial health, let us remember that our wealth is not for us alone, but is meant to be shared. Charitable giving, whether of our money or time, is a vital expression of our Catholic faith, and a practice that aligns us with God's will. Through charity, we develop humility, generosity, and gratitude, virtues that help us grow in holiness and draw us closer to God. Whether we're in the early stages of managing debt or we've achieved financial stability, we are called to give God our first fruits. Remember, your giving might look different depending on your financial situation, but what matters is the spirit of generosity that you cultivate in your heart. As St. John Chrysostom beautifully put it, the rich man is not one who has much, but one who gives much. Let us strive to be rich in generosity, knowing that in giving we receive the greatest gift of all, a deeper relationship with God and a heart filled with love for our neighbor. Chapter 9. Smart financial goals, aligning your finances with Christ's teachings. Setting financial goals is a powerful way to take control of your money and ensure that it aligns with your values and priorities. However, it's not enough to set vague aspirations. Goals need to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, which is where the SMART framework comes in. In this chapter, we'll explore how to set smart financial goals that align with your Catholic faith, how to stay motivated as you work toward these goals, and why it's essential that your financial goals ultimately support a life of service to God and others. The Catholic Church teaches that our resources, whether time, talent, or treasure, are gifts from God. We are called to use them responsibly and in a way that glorifies Him. Setting smart financial goals is not only a practical step in your financial journey, but also a way to ensure that you're being a good steward of what's been entrusted to you. What are SMART goals? A SMART goal is one that follows a specific, structured framework to make the goal-setting process clear and achievable. Here's what each component stands for. Number 1, specific. Your goal should be clear and unambiguous. A vague goal like save money is not specific enough. Instead, define exactly how much money you want to save and for what purpose. Number 2, measurable. You should be able to track your progress. This means having a quantifiable target so you can assess whether or not you're on track. Number 3, achievable. Your goals should be realistic, considering your current resources and situation. While it's good to challenge yourself, you don't want to set a goal that is so far out of reach that it becomes discouraging. Number 4, relevant. The goal should matter to you and fit in with your broader life and financial priorities. It should align with your Catholic values of stewardship, generosity, and serving others. Number 5, time-bound. Set a specific time frame for attaining your goal. Having a deadline helps to create urgency and keep you motivated to stay on track. Why set financial goals? Sacred Scripture is clear about the importance of planning and setting goals. King Solomon said, "The plans of the diligent end in profit, but those of the hasty end in loss." Proverbs 21:5. Setting financial goals is a way of being diligent and planning wisely for your future, while also helping you avoid impulsive, short-sighted decisions. From a spiritual standpoint, setting goals is a way to bring order and purpose to your life. The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches that we are stewards of the gifts God has given us, and setting financial goals helps us manage these gifts in a way that glorifies God. Our finances are not merely for personal gain, but are part of our calling to serve others and build up the kingdom of God. As you set goals, remember that they should always be in service to a higher calling. Align your financial goals with the great commandments. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. The whole law and the prophets depend on these 2 commandments. Matthew 22:37-40. Goals like saving for retirement or paying off debt will ultimately allow you to serve God and others more freely. Examples of smart financial goals. Let's break down both short-term and long-term financial goals and how they might be set using the SMART framework. Short-term financial goals. Short-term financial goals are those you plan to achieve within the next 1 to 3 years. These goals help you build a solid financial foundation and create habits that will lead to long-term success. Here's some examples. Emergency fund goal. Specific, save $3,000 for a 3-month emergency fund to cover unexpected expenses. Measurable, I will save $250 per month into a high-yield savings account. Achievable, I will cut back on discretionary spending like eating out and entertainment to achieve this goal. Relevant, an emergency fund will provide peace of mind and financial security, allowing me to better serve my family and community. Time-bound, I will reach this goal in 12 months. Paying off a credit card debt goal. Specific, pay off my $1,500 credit card debt. Measurable, I will make an extra payment of $150 per month. Achievable, I will reduce my monthly spending on non-essential items like clothing and subscriptions to free up funds. Relevant, paying off this debt will relieve financial stress and free up resources for charitable giving and long-term saving. Time-bound, I will pay off the debt in 10 months. Long-term financial goals. Long-term goals are those you want to accomplish in 3 to 10 years or more. These goals generally require larger amounts of time, money, and effort to achieve, but they are essential for ensuring your financial security and leaving a lasting legacy for your family. Here are some examples of long-term goals. Saving for retirement goal. Specific, save $500,000 for retirement through an employer-matched 401k and Roth IRA. Measurable, I will contribute $500 per month to my retirement accounts. Achievable, I will increase my contributions gradually as my income grows and my house is paid off. Relevant, this goal will ensure that I could retire comfortably, reduce my reliance on others, and be free to serve God and others in retirement. Time-bound, I plan to have $500,000 saved by the time I am 65 years old. Paying off your mortgage goal. Specific, to pay off my mortgage early by age 50. Measurable, I will make an extra monthly payment of $400 to my mortgage. Achievable, I will use raises, bonuses, and tax refunds to increase my extra payments. Relevant, paying off my mortgage early will provide financial freedom and reduce stress, allowing me to give more charitably and invest in my family and the church. Time-bound, I will pay off my mortgage in 12 years. Staying motivated and tracking progress. Once you've set your SMART goals, it's crucial to stay intentional and track your progress. Without consistent effort, even the best laid plans can fall short. Here are some tips to help you stay on point. Number 1, review your goals regularly. Regularly reviewing your goals keeps them fresh in your mind and reminds you of your purpose. Set a monthly or quarterly date to assess your progress and make adjustments if needed. Number 2, celebrate small wins. Break your larger goals into smaller milestones and celebrate when you hit them. Paying off your credit card debt, for example, may feel like a huge task, but when you pay off a portion, acknowledge your achievement. This builds momentum and helps sustain motivation. Number 3, visual reminders. Create a vision board or use a financial progress chart where you can visibly track your goals. This might include tracking your savings toward an emergency fund or the reduction of credit card balances. Seeing your progress reinforces positive behavior. Number 4, stay accountable. Share your financial goals with a trusted friend, spouse, or financial coach. Accountability partners can encourage you and keep you focused when motivation wanes. Number 5, pray for guidance and strength. Remember that you are not alone in your financial journey. Pray for wisdom and discernment as you make financial decisions, and ask God for the strength to remain disciplined and focused on your goals. As King Solomon once again states, entrust your works to the Lord and your plans will succeed. Proverbs 16:3. Be flexible. Life happens and you may encounter unexpected setbacks. Don't get discouraged if your plans need to be adjusted. The important thing is to stay committed and not give up on your goals altogether. Aligning your goals with Christ's teachings. It's crucial to remember that your financial goals are not just about accumulating wealth, but about aligning your life with God's will. Your financial decisions should be a reflection of Catholic stewardship, the acknowledgement that everything you have belongs to God and is meant to be used for His glory and the good of others. Before you set or revise any financial goal, ask yourself the following questions. Does this goal help me live more generously? Will this goal allow me to serve others more effectively? How does this goal align with my values? Does this goal help me be less attached to material wealth and more focused on eternal riches? By ensuring that your goals are rooted in these questions, you can move forward with confidence, knowing that your efforts are contributing to a life of greater faithfulness and service. A smart life aligned with Christ. Setting smart financial goals is a powerful way to bring order and intention to your financial life. However, as you work towards your financial objectives, always keep in mind the greater call to serve God and others. Your financial pursuits should reflect the cardinal virtues of the faith: prudence, justice, temperance, and fortitude, and should ultimately enable you to live a life of greater freedom and service. As you set and pursue your goals, remember the words of St. Paul in Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, do from the heart, as for the Lord and not for others. Your financial goals, when done in alignment with God's will, become an act of gratitude and worship, a way to honor Him with the resources He has